The unprecedented excitement for Dragon Age the Veilguard continues. Not really, no one's talking about it, no one seems to care. It looks like a flop, it feels like a flop, and the reality is it's probably not going to do very well when it comes out. There's no excitement, no one cares because most people have made up their mind. They've seen the trailers, they've seen the gameplay now, and it just looks like another big fail from BioWare in the vein of Anthem, Mass Effect, Andromeda. In fact, the only people who've talked positively about this, their only real defense is to call people out who are criticizing it and just say things like, how do you know it's going to be bad? Don't judge it before you've even played it. They can't actually point to and articulate anything they've seen that actually looks good. They can't tell you that the characters, the companions look good because they actually all pretty much look putrid. The combat, it's dumbed down. It's really, really basic, not interesting. No one's talking about that positively. There's no defense. It's really just Twitter weirdos, people on Reddit who are going, oh, this is a game for me because it's diverse. Look at that character. They've got one leg. The girl's got a dick. It's this sort of stuff. There is no meaningful discussion really going on anywhere, suggesting that we're all wrong and there's actually a sleeper hit that BioWare are gonna unexpectedly blow us away. It just doesn't feel like that's gonna happen. That all extends to the media, game journalism as well, because they've got nothing positive to write about. They can't talk about all the interesting features, everything for us to get pumped about, because there's really nothing. So instead they're having to talk about things like this. Dragon Age Veilguard is the first BioWare game to feature full nudity, and this comes from an article that was posted, where we can see Dragon Age the Veilguard will feature nudity. That's something I learned firsthand while customizing my Rook within BioWare's Edmonton, Canada office. Earlier this year, during my cover story visit, we were customizing a feminine Rook, and while adjusting body options, our Rook's shirt disappeared to let us customize things like chest size. Now, I'm not sure if the Game Informers, the IGNs of the world and so on, if they think we all have very short memories. But it wasn't even 2 or 3 months ago, I don't think, that these outlets were saying that, oh my goodness, the male gaze, you're an ist, you're a phobe, you want feminism to be dead, because you wanted to enjoy Stellar Blade. That you thought this game that had an attractive woman, big chest, everything else going on, if you wanted to enjoy that, you must be some sort of basement dweller, we were told. But apparently it's fine if they're foaming at the mouth over a character creator. If you can change penis size, chest size, oh, that's totally fine. That's progressive, that's empowering, but don't you dare enjoy Stellar Blade. That's the bad kind of near nudity. And that's when Veilguard game director Corinne Busche smiled, likely knowing full well that nudity in the character creator means nudity elsewhere in the game. There's something just slightly unsettling about this they-them sort of smiling at the thought of nudity and everything else. Just a little bit creeped out. Maybe that's just me. Like in Veilguard's romance, there's something I know BioWare fans will be delighted to hear. This is a mature RPG, she tells me. Okay, so it's not mature in the sense of interesting stories, great systems, combat, given you dumbed all of that down. It's a mature RPG because of this character creator, because we can put a penis on a female character. You know that's all going to be possible. It's 2024 BioWare. That's what makes it mature. Who cares about the content? This is the important stuff in your role-playing game. I only see topless nudity in the character creator, and when I later ask BioWare if there is bottom nudity as well, I'm told that's something it wants to let fans discover for themselves in the game. Oh, because that's the most exciting part, come on. And it's good to see these games journalists asking the hard-hitting questions. Let's not get into the systems, choice and consequence, the actual content in Dragon Age. Let's ask about bottom nudity. Impressive stuff. Interesting answer considering we're talking about genitalia here, but I don't push further. Though the game leads wouldn't share too much about romance options in the game, I have a feeling nudity will play a part in some cutscenes, and that's what BioWare is alluding to. Oh, hooray, I get to watch a 55-year-old man with blue hairs self-insert engage in a sex scene in the game. That's going to be incredible. Nudity has been present in previous BioWare games, but has always been implied. Characters are sometimes naked in romance scenes and elsewhere, but arms, legs, shadows, and pieces of scenery obscure characters' more oogly bits. I remember they actually had Yvonne Strahovski in one of the Mass Effect games, I think it was. Australian, by the way. And she actually looked pretty good in that. She looked normal, they didn't try and uglify her, mess with her face and all of that stuff. I have a feeling she'd be banned from any future BioWare games because she's actually conventionally attractive. That's not allowed anymore at BioWare. I wouldn't be surprised if they had security at the entrance, anyone good looking, they're toxic, they have to leave. With some of those bits on full display in the character creator, I have a feeling Veilguard's romantic scenes will be the spiciest in the series' history. And the game's pretty visual design running in EA's Frostbite engine only adds to that. Well, unfortunately, the companions all look dreadful. It doesn't matter about your engine, the high-quality visuals. They look pathetic. No one wants to see them in HD, especially naked. It's a waste. That's really all it is. Okay, I think I've hit the limit that I can write the word nudity on my work computer before it gets flagged by HR or something. You'll have to wait for the game's full release this fall to learn more about nudity, romance, and more. This is the selling point of the game now. They can't tell you anything about the Veilguard in terms of its content that actually looks interesting. It's romance, it's nudity. That's what they're banking on now to sell copies. I don't think it's going to work out too well for them. There actually are some details on the romance, though. There's another article here, how romance and relationships work in Dragon Age the Veilguard, and relationship level. Every companion in the game has a relationship level related to Rook, and the choices you make, and not even specifically about the companion, but in the world in general, and what you say to companions, how you help or don't help them, and more all play into it. Every time you rank up a companion's relationship level, you unlock a skill point to spend specifically on that companion. Now, this was a little bit weird to me because it sounds like you get points for your companion, not from completing missions or killing enemies or something with that companion. You get them from having a chat, having a sit down with that companion. Now, given this is 2024 BioWare, what are we expecting here? Is it going to be a mature conversation about maybe a genuine hardship the companion's gone through? They lost their brother or some family member, they were murdered and now they're very upset. Is it going to be along those lines, some other interesting story? Or is it going to be, oh, I'm feeling anxious, I don't know my identity, what's my gender? Are these going to be the conversations that we have to go through in order to earn skill points? That, I would not be surprised if that's the bulk of it. Working through modern social issues, work through them, get educated through the dialogue from your favorite BioWare writer team member. Read this dialogue that's designed to brainwash you with 2024 modern politics, and only then will your companions actually get stronger. That's what it sounds like it may be. Though companion skill trees pale in comparison to Rook's expansive tree, which features passive abilities, combat abilities, and more. Yes, because the companions are basically useless, that makes sense. As well as paths to 3 unique class specializations, there's still some customization here. Now, this to me was very troubling, because if you had any hopium about this game, this should kill some of that for you, especially with the combat. Each companion has access to 5 abilities, but you can only take 3 into combat. Is this new or old information? I'm not sure. I knew about the 3 into combat, but I was under the impression that there were a lot of abilities that you could choose from for your companions. There would be maybe dozens, and then you choose 3 of them to take into combat at one time, and it's quite strategic. But there's only 5 per companion. So the choice really is, what 2 abilities do you not want to take along with you? That's the only choice. That's a pathetic amount that just further reinforces that companions pretty much cosmetic in the gameplay side. They basically only exist so we can have this diverse cast who's going to talk down to you and insult you if you have the wrong beliefs. That's all the companions seem to be. In combat, it couldn't be any dumber. And if we move on, we get some more insight into the hot and heavy romance side of the game. However, fret not, BioWare fans. Romance is a key part of relationships in the game, Busche says, noting some of the romances will get quite spicy. However, not all of them will, as each romance has a very different flavor. Some characters are straight to the point, while others are more awkward, having never been in a relationship before. Oh god. You learn who these characters are and how their relationships, romances unfold, she says. She likens romantic and platonic relationships to another way to level up your companions. This game really was made by degenerates. It's not just experience and skill points that determine Rook's standing with companions, but diegetic conversations too. You just know what's going to happen. There's going to be one of those cutscenes they mentioned, some sort of sex scene with a companion. You'll be going at it for 5 minutes, and then you're suddenly going to get a dialogue prompt, and it's going to tell you, hey, you seem to be having a good time there. But have you checked in with your companion to see if they still consent? If you pick the wrong option, you're going to get punished. BioWare's going to yell at you. That's how this is going to go. BioWare has already revealed that every companion in Veilguard is pansexual. I read somewhere that they're going to get rid of the LGBT. They're going to get rid of the B in LGBT because apparently bisexual's really bad because it suggests that there's only 2 genders. It's going to get replaced with a P because pansexual's the progressive term now. Notably different from the community-dubbed player-sexual approach in some games, which sees NPCs are just romantic and sexual. I cannot read any more of this. I'm done with this, but I'm going to let someone from the Steam forums sum up what's actually going on here, because this is basically what we've got now. There's no Dragon Age game here. The developers don't give a shit about Dragon Age. This is some sort of weird romance dating sim, self-insert sim from the BioWare developers, because at least half of them are they, thems, and that's all they care about, cramming all this messaging in, telling you you're an hysterophobe if you don't play it. There's no real game here. No RPG fan is going to give a toss about this game. And if we go to the Steam forums, this sums it up perfectly. Dragon Age the Veilguard, complex relationships and nudity are useless, since all the companions in this game are extremely ugly. Thanks to the devs for making this game less attractive. Edit. Who thought a romance with a 60-year-old necromancer guy or an ugly girl missing a leg would be interesting? Perfect summary. This is the state of the game. Thank you very much, BioWare. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.